Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're back in the cut flower garden and it's definitely slow and steady. I haven't made as much progress as I have wanted to. However, the progress that I'm making is actually making me very happy. I've decided what I'm going to do is instead of just like trying to dig up all the dahlias and divide all the dahlias, I'm just going to do little bit by little bit. So if I only have a chance to dig up four dahlias and divide them, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be okay with it. So I'm actually going to show you today how I'm dividing these. The first dahlia example I am going to show you is a real easy one to see. I think this is going to be a great one for teaching you guys how to divide dahlias. The second and third one I'm going to show you, these are two varieties that have produced insane amounts of tubers. And what's actually really special about these two dahlias is these were gifts from my former neighbor. So the year that my dad passed, I also lost my sweet neighbor Merilyn. And she'd given me these two dahlias maybe 3 years ago, and they just produce like crazy every year, and they are lovely. I have no idea what their names are, but I thought it would be nice to like dig them up from the main part of my garden, divide them, and then add a few to the cut flower garden, just so I have a little place that I get to remember her. All right, I'm going to flip you around and give you a brief tour of where I'm at. So here we are. I have gotten both sides edging this row, and the far side where these little blueberries are planted, I'm actually going to end up transplanting these blueberries, but this is where all of my sunflowers are going to go, so I want to have that side ready. And then along this side, this is where I'm going just little by little and getting these dahlias dug, immediately divided, and back in the ground. And so you can see that I've already started the process. And back here, I have a little clump of lilac bull dahlias that I'm going to take you on a dividing adventure with. So in any event, both sides, literally, sometimes this is all you can do. So the first, I'd say 20 feet of this row are done, but I have so much more to do. But the dahlias that are worth saving are divided and replanted. All right, my friends, here is where we're at. So the two clumps that you see right here, this first one and this one over here, this is this beautiful peachy one that I cannot wait to grow. I'll see if I can find a picture of this and pop it up on the screen. This one over here, this one is a white dahlia, and it is like one of the best white dahlias I've ever grown. I've grown others that have really just like paled by comparison. And then way in the back there, that is my teeny tray of lilac bull dahlias. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rinse these off, but I'm going to try to set them in a tray so that you guys have better visibility to the process and what these look like. So here we go. And guys, seriously, these I was kind of laughing. I was like, am I an insane person for purchasing all of these trays? Nope. These things are coming in so stinking handy around the house, especially as I'm working with plants. Alrighty, so I'm going to do this and just put these in the tray for washing them out. Normally, I would just set these on the grass, but I'm going to do it this way just so you guys have a little bit better visibility to what I'm doing here. All right, so this is where we've landed. Now, sometimes when you dig up a dahlia, they're actually going to kind of self-divide. So this originally was like one plant, and it's kind of burst off into a number of different directions. Now, you have two different ways that you can go about doing your division. You can use a pair of larger bypass, or you can use something that's a little bit smaller and more needle nose. I think with this one, I'm going to go in with the smaller ones just because I can be a little bit more precise in my cuts. This also isn't a super beefy tuber, so I think we're going to be fine. So when I go in and I trim up my dahlia, the first thing I do is I go for low-hanging fruit. What are the things I can eliminate that make this really confusing to look at? So I'm going to get rid of these little extra root pieces. This one is from an old dahlia. You can see where that just kind of went off into an oblivion. And then this whole business over here, I don't need any of this. This is, again, from where it was hooked up to another tuber that rotted in the ground. Okay, there we go. Now, this is something a little bit more recognizable. So next I'm going to go in and I'm going to snip off last year's growth, drop the dahlia bulb in the process. And then this is kind of where we come next. Now, I can replant this. This is nothing confusing. However, I'm going to kind of come in here real close and see if I can get this to focus. Okay. Do you see this little teeny tiny point right here? It's a little bit different colored. It's kind of a bit of a knobby, right? This is an eye. Now, pulling it back over here, this also looks like it's going to be a viable eye as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chart a path kind of directly through this dahlia, right? I want to keep this one. You need 3 components. Actually, let's back up. You need your tuber, you need your neck, and you need a viable eye. 3 things every dahlia needs to grow. So I know I need this one. So I'm going to kind of put my finger there. And, oh yeah, I saw one right there. Okay, so I can pretty much cut this in half. And I should have 2 very successful dahlias. So there we are. Okay, let's step it up and do another one. And what's kind of fun about working in a tray like this is as you divide these out, you can keep them separated. Okay, so kind of a bummer, but do you see this right here? This is what we refer to as a broken neck. Okay, so right here. So even though this looks like a healthy tuber, she's got to go because she's broken. So now, really honestly, the rest of this dahlia kind of got pummeled in the landscape. So I'm just going to clean it up and replant it. Oh, actually, it's kind of interesting. I do wonder if this little baby might grow. See that little guy right there? I don't know. Maybe we try it out. Just see what happens. I'm going to take all of this business off here because this is from last year's growth. This is the old stem. Let's get that guy out of there. And then what I'm going to do, because I'm going to see if this little guy will grow, just out of curiosity, for my own idle curiosity. And then down here, I have lots of things that look like they are going to grow into a viable tuber. So I'm going to just kind of get this guy right in half here. All right. So one really solid tuber with all 3 components. And again, we'll just get rid of this extra little taily bit. All right, so we have tuber, we have neck, which is intact, and we have actually lots of little bumpy eyes right in here. So this is going to go in my save pile. And then this one is going to be my experiment. I really actually I'm curious to see if this thing is going to grow. So what I might do, because this, let me see if I can get my snips in here. This looks like a viable eye right there. So I'm going to see if I can plant this and what it'll grow into. And I'm just going to get rid of this little bit here because that's kind of unnecessary. Okay. And then last but not least, we have this bigger guy. Okay. So, oh, see this right here? Oh, I literally put my finger through it. Disgusting. So that goes. All right. Now we're this guy and I'm just going to clean it up. This is another broken neck, so off she goes. And this looks broken too. All right, so this knobbly little dude is going back in. And I could probably clean this up more, but again, when you're inspecting your tubers, you want something that's firm. So this guy is firm as opposed to this one that I literally stuck my thumb through. Disgusting. And this guy should be good. All right, last but not least, these are my tags from last year. I am going to put this in the tray so I don't lose track of what variety is in my tray. All right, friends, this is one of the beasts that I am about ready to tackle. So I wanted to start with the lilac bowl because it was really easy, really simple, like it didn't even really need division. This is a beast, and I actually kind of don't know what I'm going to do with it. So let's start by spraying it off and see what we come up with. Okay, this is super exciting because I already see right here, if you guys can see this, right in here, that little light yellow dot, and then again, this one by my finger. This is why I like to wait until spring to divide my dahlias, because it's already waking up and it's gonna tell me exactly where I need to go. Okay, I have this dahlia tuber upside down, and I'm gonna leave it here for just a second because I'm gonna start by cleaning up the things that I feel like are easiest for me to get rid of so I have better visual clarity at what I'm working with. Okay, so this guy right here, this is not a viable tuber. I don't even know what this thing is, but off she goes. I'm not keeping it. Oh, and this guy also right here, see that floppiness? Broken. Boom. She's out. Don't need that. This one got a little damaged right there. And which I'm really liking using. These are little dram pruners. And I'm really liking the fact that I can get in tight with this giant monster. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of some of these roots that I don't need. It's just making it so hard to see. Okay, back to this guy. Okay. I'm gonna give this another little rinse. We have trimmed the fat a little bit, and now it's time to dive in. I think I'm gonna start with, you kind of wanna start by assessing what you've got going on. Like, I talk about this a lot, get a lay of the land, right? So let's get rid of these guys. This is last year's growth. This actually, don't know what that is, so off she goes. Last year's growth. Okay. I actually may switch over to my big kahunas here. So when I start into a dahlia that looks like these, aka a giant hot mess, I like to look for my growth points. And what's funny is, like, I honestly, people do this in the fall and I don't even get it. I can't even like fathom what this is going to look like, you know? And so for me, it's harder for me to spot these growth points. So I'm going to take you in and show you what I'm looking at. And actually, funny enough, I think it's kind of easy to see on this one. So I'm gonna use my little pointers here. Okay, so first and foremost, that guy right there, that growth point is already off to the races. All right, over here, again, we've got another one. Over here, let's see if we can get behind there. See that little guy down there? And then even down in here, I don't know if you can see this, but in between these ones, oh yeah, see those two? They look like little tiny white teeth or something. Those are also eyes. This entire dahlia is waking up. Okay, and then down here, we've got another biggie. Let me see what else we got going on. I mean, I think this is kind of good for now. So literally, I can, once I identify, there's a little rock. Once I identify where my growth points are, then I can start charting a course. Where am I going to cut this so that I can have the most viable tubers possible? Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is this, it looks like old stuff from last year. So I'm going to start by getting rid of that, because back behind here, and this is again old stem from last year, I can see a growth point. So I know, if nothing else, I can cut directly down through here, so right between these two, and I'm going to have a giant viable cluster. So let's make our first cut. And yes, this is very scary for me because I don't want to screw up because this is going on the internet. Okay. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to get my tip in there. Okay. Then, this is like a traffic jam on I-5. This is nutty. All right. I'm going to get rid of a few of these just to make my life a little bit easier. Ooh, what do I do first? Okay. You know what, you guys? I feel like this is like the rose pruning where I just start slow and steady. And if I just make a few precise cuts, the pathway starts to become a little bit more clear. So let's get rid of some things that are clogging up my visual field here. That's not going to grow into anything. Okay. So let's see here. If I do another little cut down there. And this is interesting. I'm going to do another cut right here. Okay, because I've got this little tuber that's kind of clogging everything up. All right. And I know that I want to free this little cluster down here too. So let's get rid of that guy. Let's see where this is going to take me. Oh, shoot! Just busted that guy. Boom. Okay, well, good news. I've got one right behind it. So, let's kind of get in here. Oh, dang it. Look at this. It's a slug. Yuck. Okay, I'm going to give this another spray and see if this... Okay. I'm not going to go in here too. Because I'm going to try to do 1, 2, 3 clusters out of this guy. This thing is like a beast in here. Okay. All right. She is not the prettiest, but there we are. We have a little cluster. We've got a really well-developed eye right there. More developed eyes right down there. So I'm going to start getting after this little bit by little bit. Hopefully I have some better clusters than this, but this is how this game is going to get played. It's like climbing a mountain, one step at a time. So now, how am I going to do this? I think I'm going to have to do something kind of crazy. I think I'm going to have to break off one of these tubers. Just so I can get in here and see what I'm actually doing. All right. This guy off. All right. Better. Okay. Now what I think I might do is I might try to get in here and we're just going to saw this bad right in half. I'm trying to get this guy out of here. Look at that. Tuber, neck, beautiful eye. Okay, cool. Another one. Friends, I feel like I'm performing surgery. That's how this feels. This feels like I am a surgeon at this point. Oh, I might have gotten lucky there. See those growth points? I might have gotten lucky. Okay, I've got another cluster. Okay, this is the next one I'm going to target. I've got clusters there, all with really healthy growth points. Okay, let's see what we can do. Okay. I'm just kind of blindly snipping here. But this thing is getting more loose. Good. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, huge cluster. Oh, look at this. Okay, this is amazing. And so look at this from this single division. So what I was able to do, as you can see my cut right here, I was able to kind of slice this bit of it off. And from here, oh my God, I have so many. I could cut it in half here. I could cut this part off. I got a lot of choices. Okay. So, oh, there's a little worm in here. Let's go, buddy. There we go. Okay, so when you're facing a clump like this, sometimes what I like to do is I like to either start by dividing it in half, just to see just because sometimes that's easiest for me. And then other times you'll get like a really cool little cluster that you're like, oh, that is like ready to rock and roll right here. We've got tuber, neck, all these eyes. I could probably even snag this guy with it. And that would be a really, really happy cluster. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Okay, awesome. Perfect. Okay, another really robust cluster. And we've got this little trio here too. And every time you do this, you want to make sure you've got that eye in action. Oh, actually this one, she's out. Oh yeah, right up there. Nice little eye. This actually has a ton right up here. So I'm going to leave all these guys together. You guys get the idea. I'm going to break this down even more and wish me luck. Oh, son of a. Okay, that's a nice one. This thing looks like an alien butt. Some of these are just going to be like big, giant, weird clumps. Kind of okay with that. Oh. Oh. My Falcos need to be sharpened. Wow, that's a good one. Oh, I don't even know. Oh. Okay, side note. I honestly, at this point, I don't even care if I break a few, like this guy right here, because I have so many of these. Jeez Louise. It's like, it's looking like looking at a sea beast. But with this giant chunk left, I'm just trying to go straight down the middle and see if this will get better clarity, because I see about 8 million good eyes on this thing. I don't want to cut these guys in here though, because there's like a ton of awesome growth points going on. Woo! Oh, I lost a tuber. Dang. This is like the marathon dividing session. This thing is crazy. All right, my friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, is this a 16? Yeah, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then I also have I have 3 others that I think I got an eye, but I'm going to wait a minute to see if they swell to make sure that these ones are good. So turns out this is way more than I will ever be able to plant. So I think I'm probably going to have a fun little giveaway. Also, this little project took like an hour because I wanted to go slow and steady. I wanted to make sure I had a lot of viable eyes on each one of these. And also it was a hot mess. So I haven't even gotten onto the white one. That is going to be a whole nother adventure, which I'm going to do off camera. All right, my friends, there we have it. Dividing the most monster tuber of all time. And I think what is the most appropriate is, I'm going to try to say this without getting choked up. Merilyn was an awesome neighbor and an awesome gardener, and she shared these with me. And so I would like to share them in her honor. I have no idea what this is called, but I will pop a picture of it on the screen. Please like, subscribe, and comment below that you would like to receive one of Merilyn's tubers. And I will have this giveaway open through Tuesday, April 9th at 5 p.m. And that's Pacific Standard Time. And at that time, I will choose, 5. I will choose 10 of you to announce as winners on Wednesday in that video. In any event, thank you so much for coming along on another garden adventure. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'm going to see you in the next one. In the meantime, say hello to the garden for me.